Welcome
Welcome
to the Two Tunes podcast.
How do you
I'm Bo.
Brandon, how do you feel about the Rivers no repeat workday?
Oh my God. Okay, so for those at home, you may be able to hear that there's music going on in the background of us because they are testing the sound system throughout the school and they have to play something. So what better way than the radio? So right
Too
now,
loud also. Like, it doesn't need to be this loud.
well, they're testing the volume throughout the school.
I guess.
So, like, this is probably too quiet for this room if they're doing announcements.
I guess, yeah.
But if they're making announcements, it should be pretty loud.
Yeah.
I feel like I want to not stop talking
So that way you can't hear.
You can't hear what's going on.
Yeah.
But also that I feel that I will start listening to this song.
Yes, correct.
Because this is a good song. Wish
So-
you were here.
Here's what they were saying. They're like, no repeat workday, but it's a radio station that only plays things from like the 70s, 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
Shouldn't repeat songs for days.
Yeah,
Like I get like a top 40 station, you're going to hear the top 40.
yes.
You'll hear those a few times,
Yeah.
plus some other things, but like,
But still, like, it's not like they have their specific.
yeah, like they're not
songs.
playing anything from the 70s.
Yeah.
But like, there's enough hits from those three, probably even into the early 2000s
Yeah,
decades that they could have a
Yeah.
playlist that goes a few days, I would imagine.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
You could have a playlist that never stops.
Well, sure, but I mean, like, even of ones that are
Yeah, popular songs.
heavy hitters, yeah,
Yeah, anyways.
yeah.
So we're here to talk about Two Tunes and other things.
Also,
So,
I'm all roided up right now.
for your back.
No, for my sinuses, actually.
Okay.
I'm on prednisone.
Okay. Very cool.
How does it know to go to my nose?
I think it just affects your whole body.
Yeah,
I don't really know.
I don't know.
So this is really distracting
Yep.
for me, I feel
Same.
like. So where I teach lessons at, we're going to talk about one thing.
Okay.
There's where I teach lessons at, today's August 1st as of the recording, and on July 31st, they're like, by the way, the second week of August, the building will be closed. And it's like, I already told all the students that this is how much money they're going to owe me.
Yeah.
So then I was like, now I've got a week off of lessons. And that just happens to be the date that my friends are like, you need to come to Chicago. There's a ticket to go see
Oh, okay.
see
Nice.
Green
yeah,
Day.
You were telling me about that.
Yeah, like when we were at
Yeah.
the starting line, which we should talk
Yeah.
about. That'll be your part.
Okay.
When we were there, I was getting texts, and they're like, man, wouldn't it be cool if Boke would come? It's like,
Yeah.
how are we going to get rid of this other ticket? So, yeah,
I was thinking it was like during the school year. I didn't know it was like
no, it's 2 weeks.
in 2 weeks.
It's
okay.
yeah, like they're playing Hershey.
Yeah.
And then like they have like 2 days off, or maybe they're playing somewhere else,
Yeah.
Pittsburgh probably or whatever. And then they play Chicago.
Oh, okay.
And I tried to
Oh, that's way more doable.
yeah.
I was thinking it was like a Tuesday in September.
No,
like-
it's a Tuesday in August.
Oh, then what are you whining about?
Because
I mean, you'd have to get yourself and from Chicago for
yeah.
a 3-hour commitment.
yeah, but I'm gonna go up. My plan is to go up to Erie on Monday, then drive over to Chicago on Tuesday. I'll probably stay at Danny's on Tuesday night and then come back Wednesday, and then I'll just, depending on how if me and the other person Jay drive together, then it's driving back to Erie. If it's not, then I'll just like try to drive all the way back.
I mean, I've driven past Chicago in a day. But I was like 24.
It's not that bad of a drive.
No, it's just Route 80.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know.
Like
I've
I know,
did
yeah,
it.
but still, like it's just
Yeah.
one long highway. That was the sort of joke. It's not even really a joke that I would make about the town I lived in Iowa, like where I went to school.
Yeah.
Is I could basically take 4 roads.
Yeah.
Could take 76
Yeah.
to 80, then take 80 all the way to Des Moines, turn left, go south on 35, and then turn right on State Route 34. and
Because
I'm
like
in the town.
all those roads are just like north and south.
Yeah,
east
but
and
it
west.
hit all these like major things. Like it went, sort of around Chicago and around like other places. But yeah, it's just
Yeah.
like take 80 all the way to Des Moines, hang a left, down 35, and then turn on 34. It's four roads.
I listen to podcasts, obviously, since we're making a podcast.
Yeah.
I should probably listen to them as well. This is another banger. But I'm behind. I'm in this week of stuff, but like I'm
behind too.
I have 8 to listen to that came out this week.
Okay.
There's 8 that came, because like some are like they're not all the time. Like a band called Punchline, which just popped up out of nowhere. I'm like, you guys haven't, and it's a reactions video or reactions. I'm just like, it was so long ago that you released the episode 6. Anyway, it's a good podcast, but it's not like put out as good as podcast should be, which is weekly.
Sure.
We've never missed a week.
Yeah.
But yeah, so now that drive is going to be listening to podcasts. And like, cool, awesome.
So we went to see the podcast. We went to see the Starting Line.
Yeah,
on
you
Sunday.
and me, because like 2 weeks ago we talked about like, hey, you should go see the
right.
You should go see the Starting Line tonight, and we did. We saw the Starting Line.
What'd you think? You didn't really know them.
I like knew a couple songs. So thing one is they played great.
Yeah.
I at first was like, this doesn't sound good. Like, why doesn't it sound good? It's because I had earplugs in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why can't I hear the guitars? Because the guitars were the things that were like being shifted out of this, and it was all bass. Except the first band, we couldn't hear the bass at all.
Yeah.
Well, there was bass. It was all the kick drum.
Yeah.
But there was no bass from the bass player.
Yeah.
And then he played, and you're just like, oh, he is playing something. So like I complained about the sound in my own head. And then I was like, you had said, oh yeah, it's like they're just a bunch of dads, except the lead singer looks like he's 25. And then they came out and I'm like, yep.
Dad.
And he does look like he's like...
The keyboard player looks a little younger too, but I don't think he's been in the band
that long. Yeah.
And
wasn't the lead singer the youngest as well?
Keyboard. No, I think they're all roughly the same age. Kenny just has aged well.
Yeah.
Like he might be like a couple years younger than those guys, but like, you know,
I imagine he was
they're
a
all
teenager
40
when he started.
Yeah. I also don't know how many of those guys are the original guys other than him.
Okay.
Because he also has a couple of side projects and stuff.
Yeah.
Like the Starting Line did basically 3 albums and an EP, and then broke up. And then he had a band called Personnel, like Personnel.
Yeah.
It's like person but a capital L. And then he had a band called Vacationer. Have I played Vacationer on here yet?
I don't think so.
Okay, I should. They're good. And then the Starting Line in the last 7-8 years has played a little bit here and there, and now they're doing more stuff. We've talked about this before with some of these bands that have been around a while. I think they're figuring out like we don't have to do the band full time.
Yeah.
We can do,
which they haven't released anything since like a long time
2007.
Ago. Yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah.
It's like they haven't dude, write some new songs.
Well, they are. They haven't. They played one of them. It was good.
I don't remember.
It's called Blame. Blame?
I don't know.
Yeah, it was called Blame.
What I noticed about them, the guitar player on Audience Right had a microphone. Mm-hmm. I don't think he sang anything. Mm-mm. He was singing, but he wasn't like up.
No, it was the keyboard player was doing all the backing vocals.
Yes, where it's just like, why do you have a microphone if you're not going to use it?
Yeah,
like, and I mean it. Like I don't,
or was it just left there from the previous band and they just never?
Maybe,
yeah.
I don't know. And then also, what's the guitar or the bass player?
What's his
singer?
name?
Yeah,
Kenny Masoli.
I don't know. Does Kenny? I don't think Kenny is a good bass player.
Really?
His hand was always like squished together, and you'd be like thinking like you've been playing bass for 20 years.
Yeah,
more than 20 years.
Yeah.
You should probably like learn how to use the instrument, and I don't think he does. And then even when he was doing guitar, he was like his hands were squished, which either he's like he has some hand issues,
maybe, yeah.
Which is like, okay,
could just be one of those things like he just learned to play that way.
Yeah. Like I just
never.
But he's like very much like I stick to the roots. I'm not playing bass lines.
Yeah.
Like I think that there's a lot. I mean, obviously, Fat Mike is he's a bass player, and he
Mike Herrera, same thing.
Yeah, Mike Herrera, bass player.
Get around on it,
and I'm thinking like bass players who sing as well. He kind of reminds me of the bass player for Small Town Titans.
I don't know that.
He's a good singer, but like he's like, dude, you should not be playing bass. Like I think they need to get a bass player, and then he can just sing and then like walk around. Also, what I thought was weird is like immediately when he came out, he wasn't facing directly the crowd. Mm-hmm. He was a little turned.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's interesting. Like unless you're on the left, or whatever side. Like, and you
he kind of does. I mean, I've seen them now twice, but like he kind of did that both times.
Yeah. It's just his thing. These are all just like quirks that I'm seeing. Cause I don't have stage presence. He did really well as far as like what his job is as the lead singer, even playing the instrument, with the jumps. And I'm like, he's my age. Is he my age?
He's gotta be.
Yeah.
Let me look him up.
Or older. And he just seems like, oh, I would hurt myself. Like I was more like the dad rock guys on the side where I'm just like, oh, and also 100.
He's just turned 40 like 2 months ago.
So he was like, so the band started in 99, or that first record came out in 2002.
99, they've been a band since then. Yeah.
So
they're from Churchville, Pennsylvania, just outside
3
of
years younger
Philly.
than me.
Yeah.
In 99, I was 16.
Well, it just lists
which means
the 5 members.
He
doesn't have like
13
past members.
He was 13 when that band started. And that first record, he wasn't
13.
If he's 3 years younger than me, if he just turned 40,
he's 15.
Either way.
Yeah.
But anyways, what year was he born? 83, 84?
84.
84. So he's
15.
15 in 99.
All right, technically he was 14 maybe when he was, he was in a different band called Smash Adams.
Anyways, the point of the matter is he's super young.
Yeah.
So obviously, like he just turned 40. He's just
these guys, it's been the same guys.
Yeah, the whole time.
That actually kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Because like
they haven't done anything
in a long time. So that sort of makes sense.
And 100% sponsored by
Saves
Fender.
the Day. Blah blah blah. I'm just like reading quickly through their bio.
Yeah.
One of the shows that the band played was with Saves the Day on their record release show for their second album, Through Being Cool, in Harrisburg, PA.
Interesting.
That's random.
That is random.
They were talking about like one of their first shows ever was in Hershey.
Yeah.
And my friend Scott was also there. He's my best friend since high school.
Yeah.
And he was like trying to figure out where it was. And I think it's this old barn.
Yeah.
That sort of was a venue.
Okay.
I never went to it. We had friends that were in like he and I were in a band in high school.
Yeah.
Just mostly doing covers. We did record a few things, but we weren't like playing out. We played like our dance marathon at the school and like one other gig one time. But we had friends in like quote unquote more serious bands.
Yeah.
That played like that venue and some other kind of like quote unquote venues. And so I think that's where it was. It was like this like little barn thing. Because I just can't think of where else they would have played. So
every time that I think when you're saying barn show, I'm thinking of this barn called Lucy's Barn. The venue was called Lucy's Barn because it was a barn owned by Lucy. And it was in Mankato, Minnesota.
Oh, I know Mankato.
Yeah. We don't keep that in Mankato. So like I probably said this on here. We played this Lucy's Barn, and then we went to like this house party. I'm now remembering even more. And there was this guy like in the backyard. He was obviously like just drunk, but like might have been his house, and he's just sitting there being like, yeah, and just like throwing things in the fire. And be like, yeah, we don't keep that. Like in Mankato, we don't keep that. And then there was this other guy who was like trying to impress us maybe. And he's like, dude, if you like put like firecrackers in a toilet, like the back pops up. It's so cool. Let's do it. And he did it. And he must have done it like a ton. And then instead of
the bowl.
Yeah, like instead of like, so you know how like there's a little tube, right? Like the S trap.
The S curve, yeah.
The side of it like broke because he must have done it so many times that it broke off, and then it just like water spilling everywhere, and just like, see ya. And then we leave, and he's like, dude, you got a shop vac? She was like, there's what? It's like, dude, you need to turn off the water, and now you've just broken their toilet. Like it will not work. You need to get a new toilet. Do you know how much toilets are? They're not cheap. Jeez. It's like, how did this break? Firecrackers. So yeah. So we're here to talk about
some tunes.
2 tunes.
Are you first?
I am first. Yes. My band is called Glazed. The song is called Still Glazed.
Still Glazed.
Off of how would you say the album title?
Ooh,
the EP.
Did I look at the Trilogy?
Yep, Trilogy.
I wanted it to be like Chillology.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah,
but no, it's called Trilogy.
Trilogy.
It's a 5-song EP. 2 of the songs are instrumental, kind of like bridges into. So it's like really just like 3 songs. This just popped up in a random playlist, and I was like, this is really cool. I like this. Let me look at this band. They're from Florida, specifically, I don't know, Florida? No, specifically Jacksonville, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Glazed is a gateway band from Jacksonville, Florida, established in 2013.
Oh, gateway, like there's some sort of gateway in Florida, or?
Maybe it's like the band that you learn about other bands.
Maybe.
I don't know. They don't have any shows coming up. They do. They have one show in October, and it's Fest.
Okay.
Which our friends are playing.
Lots of friends are playing that. Did you see Tiny Stills is coming through?
That's what I meant. Yeah, Tiny
somewhere?
Stills. Yeah, they're
Baltimore somewhere.
I think Philadelphia or maybe Pittsburgh.
But also like maybe Baltimore, DC.
Yeah, somewhere around here.
I'd rather go there.
Totally go.
I'm not going to Pittsburgh for a show. Okay. I'll go to Philly begrudgingly.
Anyways,
but DC, Baltimore is where it's at.
So Glazed, Florida, Glazed FL, is from there, and like there's like no information about them. There's no website. There's nothing that I can find. I mean, I didn't really look that hard, either. So, but this is a nice little song from them called "Still Glazed." Because they're still glazed.
Yeah.
And they're going to tell you right at the beginning. Still glazed! And it's a nice little groove.
How did you find these guys?
Discovery playlist, which is just like we're gonna play stuff related to what you've been listening to recently, and that's not.
That's how you've been finding most things, right?
Yeah. I try to do that, just because it's so varied, and it's not like here's your new thing. Oh yeah, it's new because you just listened to it.
Yeah. Spotify has a thing now, which I didn't realize it was doing the other day.
Yeah.
I was caught up on podcasts, and so I was like, oh, let me listen to some music while I'm driving, which I don't do enough.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to like listen to something new. I wanted to like just shuffle through my liked songs.
All right, hold on, I'm gonna pause for a second. I thought this is the end.
Yep.
Right? It feels like an end.
Well, it feels like it's gonna be like a bridge.
Yeah, but it like never kind of solidifies.
Yeah. And then it.
And if you didn't know, you better rest.
And then it just kind of comes back in.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit weird. It kind of gives me a... Oh, crap. I'm going to forget the band now. It reminds me of another band. It's the guy that was like Cobra Starship, his Midtown.
Oh, there you go, yeah.
There was like a
James
little...
Supporta.
Yeah, there's a little like 2 seconds of that song at
like
the
little
midpoint. Yeah. And then that reminds me of Weezer.
Okay.
There's a lot of Weezer, like Pinkerton. Still got 25 seconds left. And then crowd cheers. And then I forget if it goes. I think it goes into the next song, but the next song is kind of like a transition to the 5th song on the EP. Yeah. And then it's like, yeah, we're hip hop. Maybe. I don't know.
Trilogy.
And that's it.
There we go. Yeah, it's good. I like it.
Yeah.
I would listen to more.
Yeah. I showed that to a student the other day, and they're like, I really like this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's my job.
So Spotify, first of all, is terrible at shuffle.
Yeah.
Like, notoriously terrible. And the other thing it was doing, it was started like I wasn't really paying attention because I was like skipping through songs because I just want to hear like stuff I want to hear. And at one point I like actually paid attention. I was like, what is this song? I don't know this song. It's like, I mean, I have like 4,000 songs saved in Spotify, so like it's not out of the ordinary that I wouldn't know everything on there. And then I noticed this like little weird symbol next to the shuffle thing.
Yeah.
I was like, what's that? Well, it was on like Smart Shuffle.
Yeah.
So it's like them infusing things into it that I guess it thinks I'll like.
Yeah.
Which I don't hate, but it's like not what I wanted. So, yeah, I was like, why are you doing that? I didn't.
Randomness.
Yeah.
That I want to mention to you. So, a lot of the times I find music through TV shows. So I was watching The Rookie.
Yeah.
And by the way, I gotta bring that Daddy Cop song, maybe in like a couple weeks.
Okay.
But I was listening to this piece or this it's basically like a montage. So like the one girl's undercover and it's like day one, and then they're like showing different things, and then it's like day two and they're showing things. And there's this song underneath. This song was really quiet, like it was hard to hear. And I'm like, this is weird. Like this doesn't feel right. Like it kind of took you out of like, this feels weird to the show because the show doesn't really do that stuff. But then I'm like, this song sounds familiar though. Like where have I heard this song? And it was Abby Holiday, Ohio Laundry Room.
Oh yeah.
Which totally makes sense now because then the girl and the other guy, they hooked up in a laundry room.
It's not what that song's about at all.
Yeah, I know, but like there's a laundry room.
Somebody
because they're probably like laundry room, and it was like I like this song. I've hered it before. What is it? And it's like, did we have it on the podcast before? And I searched. I'm like,
about her, like,
we did. We had
grandma dying from cancer. Or
yeah, I know.
Jesus.
So not. Hey, sometimes it's just the title.
Sure.
Ohio Laundry Room.
Yeah.
This is in L.A., but whatever. So yeah. So I heard a song and I'm like, I've heard this song before, and you brought it to the table.
She just released a new album I have to listen to.
Yeah. And it is called Crack a Smile, Come Stay a While.
There you go.
Crack a Smile, Come On Stay a While.
Yeah.
And that is also the second track. There's also a song called Steve Martin.
There you go. Bo, I've got a quiz for you.
That just came out.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
First of all, you've been watching the Olympics?
No.
I'm an Olympics junkie, so I try to watch as much as possible.
Yeah. We were you weren't watching it when after the starting line. It was like badminton or shuttle. Well, the shuttlecock is the thing.
Badminton. Yeah.
Badminton.
Yeah.
This episode is entitled Badminton.
So here's the quiz for you.
But anyways, badminton was on, and also beach volleyball in front of the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
And then I'm like,
it's like right at the base of the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah. But what we were doing is it was like midnight our time, and I'm like, what time is it? It's 5 a.m. No,
they weren't playing at that time. The nighttime broadcast is all reruns of what happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the next day at 5 a.m.
No. The earliest event started at like 8 a.m.
Because the sun was
going down. Yeah.
Okay.
Was they play beach volleyball at like 11
a.m.
No.
p.m.
Okay. They'll play it late.
Yeah, gotcha.
But they weren't playing at 5 a.m. No. And okay, this is August 1st that we're recording, so the Olympics are still like deep into it. From like 2 a.m. our time until like 5 p.m. our time, that's when the Olympics are live.
Okay.
Anything after that, like when you watch NBC at 8 p.m., that's all pre-recorded. That has all happened.
Yeah.
Because it basically goes from 8 a.m. to like 11 p.m. So like swimming is on late. Like swimming is always one of the last things on during the day. It's at like 4 p.m. So that's like 10 p.m. over there.
Yeah.
And then beach volleyball, same thing.
The interesting thing about, or at least that I've noticed, because I haven't really like
the radio stopped, but they're still beeping.
Yeah, it is a weird beep.
I'll take no radio. No. As it comes back on. Anyway.
The beach volleyball.
Yes.
So stop. So this year at the base of the Eiffel Tower.
Yes.
4 years ago.
Now there's just weird random things happening.
Yeah. Wasn't it in
Tokyo?
No, that was the winter. That was 2 years ago. 4 years ago was in London, right?
No.
Or was that 8 years ago?
That was 12 years ago was London.
Was it really?
8 years ago was Rio.
Man, I don't remember that one. What was happening?
3 years ago was.
It didn't happen.
3 years ago was Tokyo. Wasn't it Tokyo? 3 years ago was the COVID one because there was no crowds. There was no.
Either way.
Yeah.
So I don't know this, but then the London one wasn't it
2012?
Like, was it in Buckingham Palace?
Oh, I don't know.
Like it was in the courtyard of like a
Might
palace.
have been. I don't know.
So like it's weird that beach volleyball is like just gonna build a sand pit here.
Yeah.
And like it's always kind of like picturesque. Just like the
Lots of people have been making jokes about LA, like what stuff's going to be in the background.
Yeah, when is that?
4 years.
Okay, so that's the next one.
Which I want to try to get tickets to rugby sevens, women's rugby sevens. That is my sport.
Okay.
Specifically, the Australian team. They lost in a heartbreak to the American team in the bronze medal.
Gotcha.
But go US.
All right. Anyways, we were talking about the Olympics, but you had
Olympics. I got a
quizzes
quiz
me,
for you,
and I'm gonna fail it.
So first of all,
or is it just setting?
I'm going to set this up for you. First of all, there are 5 sort of the quiz is going to be on country codes. Like I'll give you the country code, like the 3-letter abbreviation.
I know.
Well, we're going to see. There's going to be some that are going to be very obvious, and then others are not.
No, but is there a joke one?
No.
Okay.
So here's the thing: there are 5 different sort of areas that they break it down into, pretty much continents, but they combine a little bit. So there's Africa. How many countries do you think are represented by Africa at this Olympics?
Oh, I have no clue.
Just take a guess.
10.
54.
Okay.
The Americas. That's North and South.
Well, do you count Puerto Rico?
I don't count
Guam,
anything.
And
if they are their own thing, then yes.
So just, Puerto Rico, Guam.
How many do you think are in the Americas?
A lot.
Well, there's 54 in Africa. How many in the Americas?
Less than that.
Yes,
but
41.
Okay.
Asia.
Less than that.
44.
Okay.
Europe.
So around there. 20 something.
48.
I'm back.
Oceania.
Yeah, so that's Australia and all of the islands. Is the
how many in Oceania?
A lot.
17.
Okay.
And then there are 2 non-affiliated. So that was just the preamble to the quiz. We'll get there.
What are the non?
We'll get there. Okay, so there are the 5 main things. I'm going to have you guess.
What do you mean the 5 main things?
Africa, Asia, the Americas, Europe, Oceania. The 5 main breakdowns. It's basically continents.
Okay, all right.
Land masses.
Gotcha.
So there's 5 of those.
It's the rings. It's what the rings stand for.
Sort of.
It is.
Well,
I watched a thing.
Well,
dealt with like, do you know why there's not 7 rings? Because they're supposed to be in
anyway,
because they're this, and this.
5 the 5 rings, if you will.
To rule them all.
You're going to guess.
Went to the men. Went
2.
To the dwarves. Went to the elves.
2 from each. So it's a 10 question thing.
Oh my god.
Okay.
I don't like this.
But I'm going to give you get to guess a number 1 through whatever, and then that'll decide. So 1 through 54. You're going to do Africa first.
Oh my god.
1 through 54.
What? Like just pick a number?
Yeah, pick a number 1 through 54.
12.
12. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 12.
Yeah.
Here's the code. You guess the country.
Oh my god.
CGO.
CGO. Hot to go.
CGO.
Wait, it's the Congo.
Congo.
Yeah, that was an easy
but
one.
Not the
other.
Democratic Republic of the Congo.
Yeah,
That's a different one. That's COD, so you can't guess that one. Okay, you're 1 for 1. Pick another number 1 through 54, not 12 or 13.
Why not 13?
Because I just gave you 13.
5.
5.
These are all alphabetical.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. BUR.
BUR?
BUR.
I don't know. Burgers.
No, Burkina Faso.
Okay.
All right, moving on
I
to
don't like this.
the Americas. 1 through 41.
1.
ANT.
Argentina.
No, that's ARG. Antigua and Barbuda.
Is it Barbuda or Barbados?
Barbuda.
Barbudas.
Okay, 1 through 44.
I'm
not
done
1 or
over
2.
this game.
No, come on.
I'm done. I'm
Come
over
on.
this game. 12.
12. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. CHI is an easy one.
CHI. Chicago. No, Chile.
Chile, yeah. All right, Asia. 1 through 44.
10.
Pick all these low numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm helping you out.
IND.
D?
IND.
my initial thought is India, but I know that'd be Asia, right?
That's where we're in.
Oh, we're in Asia? Then it's India.
Yeah.
I thought we were talking about Europe.
No. Again, 1 through 44.
44, cold cuts.
All right, YEM.
Yemen?
Yeah. Yeah, these aren't so bad, right? All right, Europe. 1 through 48.
This might be easier.
Maybe.
30.
This should be easier.
33.
Actually. 33. I'm going to make it backwards. 1, 2. POL.
POL?
Uh-huh.
Is it Poland?
Yes. Another one?
8.
BUL.
Bulgaria?
Yeah. Good. These aren't too bad. It'd be harder if I like got to pick because there's some that you'd be like, what are you talking about? Oceania 1 through 17.
2.
AUS.
Is that Australia?
Yes. And again,
my numbers are like thinking like where would Australia
where would the
be?
easy ones be? Yeah.
What's the number?
1 through 17.
17. Numbers. I'm not choosing 17.
Okay.
10.
Okay.
Is it New Zealand?
Yeah.
Yes.
NZL. All right, I'm gonna give you pick either 9 or 11.
11.
PLW.
PLW.
Yeah.
PLW. What is this in though?
This is Oceania.
This is Oceania.
Since you picked the two easiest ones. Since you picked probably the only two you could actually
Yeah,
guess.
I know. Does the P stand for Pacific?
No.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Plow. Which there's not even a W in there. I don't know why it's PLW. Yeah.
Whatever.
This was Oceania. Oceania is the one where there was more things in it than I have even heard of. For being the smallest one, like I've heard of American Samoa, Australia, obviously the Cook Islands, Fiji, Guam, Kiribati.
Yeah.
Nope. Marshall Islands I've heard of. Micronesia, which is technically the Federated States of Micronesia, so they're FNM. Nauru.
Okay.
New Zealand, Palau. Which I've heard of Palau, but like, I don't know. Papua New Guinea, heard of that. Solomon Islands, Samoa, Tonga, Tuvalu. That was one I didn't know. And Vanuatu.
So here's a question for you that you don't have an answer to.
Yeah.
I know you don't. So Guam is their own thing.
Yeah, but they're also an American.
Yeah, I know.
What do you call it? So are the Marshall Islands.
Territory.
And Samoa.
And Puerto
American
Rico
Samoa.
is their own thing.
Yeah.
And the Virgin Islands, British and
American. Yeah.
They're their own thing.
Yeah.
Both ones. And it's just like, that's...
Well, like Hong Kong is its own thing.
There's political reasons
I mean,
for that.
no, I know, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just like...
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some weird kind of things. So here's the two non-affiliated. Do you know about these?
No, I don't.
AIN. I didn't know what it was. I saw somebody competing today and I looked it up. This is what got me on that because I had to look up what AIN was.
Yeah, I don't know.
It is individual neutral athletes.
Oh, so they're just
Well, it's primarily at this Olympics the Russian and Belarusian athletes.
because are they banned from it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they are not allowed to like sport anything from those countries.
Yeah.
There is a generic one-off national anthem that was written for them. Like it's a whole thing. And then EOR.
EOR?
Yeah.
Is it something from Europe?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
It's the refugee Olympic team.
Oh.
Yeah. So
that could be from anyone.
Theoretically, yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
But yeah, there's definitely some that like I was like, what?
Yep.
And I'm sure some of these countries like they have one person competing in one thing, and
yeah,
I guess the Olympics has a thing where they like work with developing nations to try to get folks to come and do stuff. I just saw a story about a guy. I think it was at the last Olympics. Forget what country he was from. I think an African country, and like a landlocked one or something. And it was like he didn't know how to swim, and he just saw it sometime and like went to a hotel pool to try to learn to swim. And it was like a 12-meter kind of thing, and he swam the 100-meter free. And due to like a freak weird thing in his heat, all the other participants got disqualified.
Okay.
So he had to swim by himself in his heat. And the Olympic pool is 50 meters.
Yeah.
And so it was 100. So he's got to swim down and back.
Yeah.
And he got like partway through the 50 and like really slowed down.
Yeah.
And then he eventually made it through, but it was just this like crazy thing. But it's like he learned to swim in a 12-meter pool.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's really cool. It's like it's good for him and good for them. And
isn't that what it's about for the news? Is it's about the stories.
Yeah. But then you'll also see some like where it's like traditionally like Summer Olympics countries.
Yeah.
And then occasionally they'll show up at like the Winter Olympics because like they figured out how to do a thing.
Bobsledding.
Yeah, something like like a thing like that where it's like, oh, we've got like kind of like cool runnings, but it's like we've got these really good runners for this thing, you know, and they maybe can't compete at the same level at track and field, but like, hey, you can run really fast and push a bobsled and learn to sled it or learn to drive it.
Yeah.
So it's cool. I love the Olympics.
I see that. I heard.
Also watching Katie Ledecky yesterday.
Yeah.
Be like 17 seconds ahead of everybody else. It's crazy. She has the top 20 scores for the 1500 meter. Are all her. Including world record, Olympic record, all that stuff. It's all it's insane. All right, shifting gears to my tune.
Shifting gears to your tune.
Maybe next episode I'll give you some more of those weird ones.
No.
So there's a record label called No Sleep.
Till Brooklyn?
No, just No Sleep. They no longer exist.
Awesome.
I found them through a couple bands like Saturdays at Your Place and somebody else that we've talked about on the podcast. I can't remember off the top of my head. And then the beginning of July, end of June, they announced that they're stopping being a record label. So then they were selling everything on their website for like super cheap just to get rid of all of it. Mm-hmm. And so I bought several things kind of like back in the day, like, hey, I found this band sounds like a cool name or something. So I bought a bunch of stuff like without listening to it, hoping it would be good, but it was like $2 for an LP. So why not take a chance on that? Mm-hmm. So one of the things that I got was this band Worst Party Ever and their album Dartland. And I like it.
Prism of a Window.
I'm glad that I like it. It's from 2021. They are apparently not a band currently. Yeah. The article from February 4th, 2023 says, Worst Party Ever cancel shows due to frontman's toxic behavior.
And you just learned this.
I just learned this like 5 seconds before recording the podcast. It sounds like he cheated on his partner.
Okay.
And like manipulated them and this other person, and it came to light and somehow caused a rift in their band, and so he was like stepping away to go to therapy and other things.
Okay. Like your girl Ingrid
Andress, that's your girl. You brought her.
Yeah, but you brought her anyways, whatever.
Anyway. So
she was drunk at the time.
Apparently. Yeah, so that's what's up at least with those guys as far as band. But I really like this album. Back to No Sleep real quick. Some artists that they have had that you have maybe heard of. So into Saturdays at Your Place is a band we talked about on the thing. That's where I found the label, I'm pretty sure. Other bands that are technically listed as current that I know are Shai Hulud, and
nice.
That might be it. Bands that used to be on their label, 68. Drug Church, Funeral for a Friend, Hot Mulligan, Into It Over It, Moose Blood, No Trigger, Swellers, Touche Amore, Wonder Years, plus other bands I'm sure that other folks have heard of, but those are the ones that like I kind of know. But yeah, this is the opening track, Prism on a Window. They've got some like really short songs too.
Yeah.
Like under 2 minutes. It's like every other track will be like over 2 minutes and then under 2 minutes. Cool. Some more in a row, but that's just kind of the... But they've got like a little bit of this like indie emo, and it picks up like it's like a little harder even within this song.
Yeah, this kind of has this a similar, not like extremely similar, to the last song where it's like it could be like 2 songs.
Yeah.
Or there's like, this is the slow, sad part, and
Yeah.
here's like really fast part. Or the other one's more, the previous song was more drastic. And,
Yeah.
Your emotions cloud.
This, I think, is the longest song, actually.
Yeah.
Like 2:45, yeah. But it's like every song feels complete. Like even the ones that are like just a minute and change, they feel like completed.
I would know how it feels to change someone. Did you care how it hurts the ones you love?
Yeah, actually, I bought 3 things or 4 things. I can't remember. I think I bought 4 things. I bought 3 LPs and like a 7-inch, and all of it's good. Which is, you know, taking a gamble, like I said, but like the 7-inch was $1. These LPs range between $2 and $4. So to me, it was worth the gamble. Also, Mike and I did with our annual road trip to North Carolina, we did our annual playlist, which I think
Yeah.
I've talked about in the past, where we put on full albums to listen to.
Nice.
And the idea is...
It's just you two, right?
Yeah. And so the idea is to be like, we don't really listen to full albums enough, or in general.
Yeah.
So, 1, just to do that, and 2, like, stuff you haven't listened to in a while or ever, or like you've been meaning to get to this, or, you know, like that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we try to change it up too every year. So it's not just putting like the same things on all the time. So it's been cool. So like he, you know, I try to curate it before we go by like alternating his
Your
album,
song.
my album,
Yeah.
and also try to like move around, because we, you know, his is a lot of punk rock and ska, mine is a lot of punk and emo and stuff. So like it's going to be pretty similar,
Yeah.
but try not to put exactly the same type of thing back to back. You know,
Understood.
we also both put a Me First and the Gimme Gimmes album on there, so it was like, let's not put those right next to each other.
Yeah.
Even though they're, you know, entirely different things. Like I put the Broadway one and he put the Blown in the Wind, the one right after that, the like 60s 70s one.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was cool. But I put this on there because I had only like kind of listened to it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, let's listen to the whole album. And even he asked, he was like, oh, where'd you find these guys? I was like, oh, this record label that I did like, that does not exist anymore.
Yeah.
I bought from them. So yeah, spoiler alert, next week's band might also be from that same thing.
Yeah, the next 2 weeks are very similar in
Yeah.
both categories.
Yeah. I've also got, I just went through all the records that I bought in North Carolina.
Yeah.
I bought a bunch. But I've got some stuff from there that I need to go through that I will also probably bring to the podcast, including like couple local bands from down there. One of them, have you heard of the record label Sorry State?
Nope.
They're kind of more like hardcore punk stuff. But they're based out of Raleigh and they have like a storefront. And so I went to the store and bought some different things. Not all from them, because it's also just like a record store.
Yeah.
But I bought at least one thing from their label. And then I found another thing from their label at a different store also. So, but I have yet to kind of like dig into some of that stuff. So future episodes will feature things from my journeys.
All right.
Cool.
Well, we will see you next
On
week.
the flippity flop.
Like, subscribe, smash that, all those things. Tell your friends.
Follow, whatever the current terms are. Hit the plus button. Give us a reviews, are cool if you can.
Yeah.
Share stuff on social media.
Thank you.
Excuse
Bless
me.
you. Goodbye.